Hey, how you doing out there? Welcome to a late Sunday night drinking a wink. Uh, we're going to continue here on our what was it called? Winter Dram series. Not much of a series so far because I've only done one video. We were going to I kind of teased what we were going to do next. We were going to talk about what we were going to do, Michelle. We were going to do the Angel's Envy, their rye, which is finished in rum, and then their bourbon, which was finished in a port barrel. And we've been just busy. Both of us have been playing gigs about every night, winding into this holiday season. And Michelle's a little under the weather, right, Michelle? So we're not gonna do that one. So we'll hold off until maybe after Wednesday. We both have a nice gig on Wednesday. Then maybe we'll fire that up. But in the meantime, I'm going to bring you something. I'm also kind of winding down here as I'm getting into my end of the year whiskey experience. All that I've talked about that before, and I'm going to bring you a couple of them that, although I think I've now picked my winner, which I won't let out just yet. Okay, these both definitely were nice, big experiences for me that I could say were contenders. Maybe if I would have grabbed one of these at the very now, what my one of the last bottles I got is going to be ending up probably being my whiskey experience of the year. But these were very, very pleasant, and I kind of remember that both of these kind of came around the same time in terms of it was right around a holiday season when we got both of these. So the first one I'm going to talk about, I'm going to bring you a Scotch for Scotch fans, and I'm going to bring a bourbon for some of you bourbon fans, okay? But not a Kentucky bourbon and not a single malt Scotch. So here you go. When we're talking about winter drams again, and now we're getting even closer and closer to Christmas, I'm thinking of Christmas flavors. I'm thinking of fruity flavor. It's a couple of two things, like fruity flavors with a nice, cakes and fruit, not just fruit cake, but all those kinds of different cakes that we might have, the pastries that you have with a little bit of chocolate or light chocolate mixed with on a pastry mixed with some kind of jelly. All those kinds of things are coming into play for me for a winter dram, especially in the holidays. And the other thing it has to be is it's got to be really warming and feel like you're really drinking something to get you warmed up. We all know that it actually is not true. That's what happens. If anything, it'll probably make us colder, and maybe not the wisest thing to be drinking whiskey or anything that's kind of slowing your blood flow down on a Chicago night here. It's not the coldest it's been, but it's 9 degrees out right now. So it's supposed to warm up a little bit tomorrow, and from what I'm hearing, when we get into midweek, we might have back into the 40s again, and Christmas is supposed to be actually unseasonably warm here in Chicago. Anyway, so let's see which one to bring you first. Well, I think it would be wise for me to bring you the lighter of the two that I'm going to bring you. And what I'm going to show you today is Nectarosity by Compass Box. Now, I probably have been mentioning Compass Box a whole lot this year. Someone's about to say semester because my semester just ended. And we've talked about this just a little bit before. Compass Box is again a company. They call themselves Scotch whiskey makers, and what they do is they purchase different products, different distillates, and do kind of a combination of blending and what they would call producing. There are what we call independent bottlers who will take something and purchase it, age it differently, but they don't blend. So these are kind of sometimes they're called just a blending house. And Compass Box is actually I think they're in London. Not London. They're an English company that's actually purchasing these different stocks and then blending them and doing some interesting stuff with them. So they buy some whiskey from different places. They might age it a little differently, or they do in a special way, and then they're going to do some kind of blending, and they're fabulous. There's not many things out of the Compass Box lineup that people don't like. And as I've mentioned, we've been big fans of their product, even the Artist Blend, I think it was called. was tasty. We bought one of those. We've got a couple or two, three bottles of Compass Box Orchard House, which is delicious. Recently, we got the Peat Monster, which is very, very good. And this recent bottling called Nectarosity, I'll tell you a little bit about it. So from their website, Nectarosity is not a malted blend. This is a combination of grain whiskey and malted barley. With anything that's coming out of that house, it's going to be a little higher ABV, so it's 46 ABV, natural color, not chill filtered. They don't do that stuff. They don't add colors. They don't chill filter it. Okay. Basically, the concept on this one was to get this really fruity, kind of cakey vibe. I see apricots on the front. I see some pears. I see some cake. Yeah, here you can look closely there and see what they're kind of going for. Okay. Really unique profile they're going for. So on this one, what they're doing is they are actually taking some different grain whiskeys from some different distillers and aging them in barrels, then holding them in some different barrels, and then they're adding malts, okay, so single malt scotches into them, okay. In terms of what we're looking at here, this is another thing that's so great about Compass Box. They will give you all kinds of sheets with this actual, I don't expect you to read that, but they actually give you the graph, this pie graph chart here, and tell you what all different products are in here. So I can see here that this is primarily on the malt side. It's Linkwood Distillery, Clynelish Distillery, Balminic Distillery, and that's the Scotch component there. Then we have some other distilleries. I don't know a whole lot about Scottish grain whiskey producers, but we have Cameron Bridge Distillery, a bunch of different things, and they're telling us, they're even getting down to the percentage and then what kind of cask this was aged in. So some of these are aged in first fill bourbon barrels, some of them are in some different other types of things, a little bit of sherry. Here there's a refill hogshead. I mean, it's sherry. So that's what they're kind of doing, okay. So again, none of this stuff is added. It's just they're taking a big combo of different grain whiskeys, aging them in certain ways, with then adding malt whiskeys. They get this blend, and it's a really unique flavoring. On the nose, I decided to use a little different glassware today. On the nose, this is just you know, it's what's so funny about this is it's just like you swear. You know what? Michelle did make some like cinnamon popcorn or something just now. I can tell she's under the weather. She really amps up that. To me, that's what I'm smelling. But that flavor is in here, and I just poured a little in my hand so I can. Oh, it's just like Christmas in a bottle. It's really, really nice. There's notes of definitely getting corn sugar from the but you're getting like I said, apricots, fig, and then there's some chocolate and cocoa, a little bit of butterscotch. It is just a wonderful nose on this. This combination, I mean, they're getting good quality products from Clynelish and Balminic and Linkwood, but these casks that they're aging in, they just must be fabulous, high quality, juicy casks. All the bourbon notes in there. If you saw what I did there, I usually don't do this with all whiskey, but sometimes what happens is when it's in the glass, it's a little hard to get the response out of there, and you can't really close it off. So you pour a little bit in here, and just smell it in your hands. Plus, you smell great for the rest of the day. The other I like to do that also. You get a couple of things is you get to kind of smell get the nature of the different casks. You'll get more of an oaky note there. And then finally, another trick for that is if you're drinking a peated whiskey, and you can't really pin it down. Is it Highland peat? Is it Isla peat? Doing that after it dries out and getting that, you can really tell what kind of peat you're getting into. It's really a unique test. Back in this, I'm gonna take a drink. Oh, it's just delicious. You can get a little bit of creme brulee mixed with pineapple. I forgot to mention pineapple. Figs again, a little bit of cocoa powder and cocoa. I wouldn't say chocolate, like a milk chocolate, maybe a little bit if I say anything, but cocoa gets a little more citrusy and a little bit of like baked apple on the end. And all of this, again, folks, you got to understand this is all being produced just by blending grain and malted whiskey. There's no flavors added in this ever, 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 ever. This is just a really delicious holiday whiskey. It's all I can say. Scotch whiskey. Leans a little bit on the dessert side, though. Keep that in mind. I mean, obviously, we've got a cake on the cover on that. Cask also does great stuff with their artwork. They're just really a clever company. And this has been winning a lot of awards just because, and, just getting some notoriety. I was saying this one other than Compass Box, Nectarosity. This is going to run you about 55, between 55 and 60 bucks. Considering that this is not a single malt Scotch whiskey, you might be turned off by that. You don't have an age group. I mean, sorry, not a single malt, a malt blend. There is a lot of grain whiskey. This is high quality stuff. This is what's so great when you get a company that's actually giving you just great material. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if they have an age statement. It doesn't have. It just is really good. Nice zing. That's the only thing I could maybe use on this one. Just a little bit more zing, bite, a little zest, lemon zest. Who knows? Maybe it's just not. Maybe it's there and I'm not getting it. But this is delicious. Highly recommend it. I could imagine using this in any manner of cocktails. I don't get turned on by doing kind of crazy tricks, but like a Boilermaker, having this and like doing the old drop the shot glass thing. I don't do that. I buy good enough whiskey that I don't have to like entertain myself with the process of putting it into glass. But if you're doing that, this would be really good as a combo with a lager or an IPA, like a Belgian IPA. This would be a perfect pair. I don't know that much about that, but ooh, that's good. So now you've had your nice little fruity whiskey, and now you want to get something that. Sorry, I got my camera a little high here. You want to get something to warm you up, and we're gonna. If you've ever been to Dekalb, Illinois, I don't know what their temperature is right now because we're pretty bad right now. But we've been talking about the whiskey Acres Distillery out there forever. I'm even wearing the hat today. We love all their stuff. They're always doing something interesting, and then they also have their core range, which has not changed much, but just continues to improve and gain more depth. Right now, I might miss something, but they always have 2 ryes, a straight and a bottled in bond, and it's the same thing with the bourbon, straight and a bottled in bond. I'm pointing, I think. Right there, it's a 7-year-old bourbon right there. go up here, and I'm pointing at the rye. This rye that one of the best whiskeys I've ever drank in my life. Finished in, why am I blanking what it's finished in now? Oh, Tokai casks. That would be a great holiday whiskey too. You know what? Actually, I should bring that one down, but that's so hard to find. This is their cigar blend. Now, when we talk about a cigar blend, they're not adding cigar leaves to this mash. This is something that they envision in being something that they could that you can have with a cigar. I'm never going to have this with a cigar. Might have it with a pipe. I still occasionally enjoy a nice tobacco pipe with a little bit of a couple of English blends that I like. And then some sweeter ones. But anyway, don't make a habit of it. And in this weather, it's hard to do anyway. But this cigar blend is their bourbon whiskey, which is then finished in PX sherry. It's Pedro Jimenez sherry, so that's going to be kind of a juicy, darker sherry. Calvados casks, and then Pinot de Charentes casks. I don't know anything about that. I know when I bought this, I talked about that a little bit. This is a belter, by the way. This is bottled at 52.5%. Well, a medium belter. It's not super heavy. But we love whiskey Acres there, grained glass distillery, or seed to spirit, I think is the way they call it, which I think is great. Wonderful. Really nice. What we're getting here is plenty of dark. That's really good. It's the exact opposite, but it's still just enough sweet. There is plenty of leather and tobacco notes here, and kind of a bark note. Maybe this isn't the best for Christmas, but this is a holiday dram for sure, or a winter dram for sure. Sorry, I didn't get that right. I pour a little bit more of this. So their whiskey, bourbon, whiskey Acres, their bourbon is a wheat whiskey. I used to have their a wheated bourbon. I don't remember the exact numbers. It was, I don't know if it's 50. I can't remember. But so it's essentially a mash bill that is obviously corn in the predominant one. Then they do a wheated whiskey, okay, wheated bourbon, and then there's some malted barley there in the end. While I'm talking, I'm going to look up their mash bill. So you know that's a then it's amplified. You know what? I'm just going to stop a second. Sorry, might as well get it right. It took a while to get my computer to update, and that's why I'm a little later than I wanted to. Let's see if I get any information here. Yeah, their most of theirs is a 75% corn, 15% soft red winter wheat, and 10% malted barley. So it already is going to sound like just a regular bourbon would be a nice little winter dram. But this one, this PX sherry is giving you lots of dark bark, dark raisin skin, kind of that tart, not tart, but that really dark, jammy, big flavor. Oaky notes are coming in, but it's giving it a charred vibe. I know what PX sherry does. Obviously, I kind of know what Calvados casks. You could buy all of the toasted, you know, whether it's the Woodford Reserve double oaked, and whatever Basil Hayden does, all that kind of stuff. You could buy Whiskey Acres Cask Finished Series cigar blend and really get what that is, what they're going for. Those other companies are going for. This is outstanding. Really, really. Complex. Comes in A little bit of, now I'm getting a little bit of earthiness, a little bit of mint towards the end. I would say that maybe the PX Sherry influence on this has overpowered a little bit, but it's fun. It's like, wow, this is just a ton of dark flavors. It's really, really good. I'm trying to think of the dark chocolate candy that it might be kind of hitting a little bit. Whiskey Acres. We love the distillery. I wish we were able to get out here. Maybe over the break we might get out there or something like that if we get some time. You all know I've been busy with various things, but this is just really good. Nectarosity. This is like a song that my good friend Jeannie Tanner. Sorry about that. Jeannie Tanner. She wrote a song called "Christmas in a Cup." I found it right here with this Nectarosity. This is just delicious stuff. I don't know if this bottle is going to make it for Christmas. I might have to grab another one. Maybe I'll bring a new one to wherever we're celebrating at Christmas. That's just really good. Let me hold it up again. So again, we're talking about blended Scotch. You're going to find this around everywhere. It's probably on sale right now, usually. This one's been on sale for a while, at least in Illinois, at the Binny's stores and a couple other places. Compass Box, Nectarosity, blended Scotch whiskey. A lot of fun, but high quality stuff. Right here, you go all the way to Scotland. You can go, what is it, an hour and 10 minutes over 15 minutes to the pride of Dekalb, right in the just south of Northern Illinois University, Annie Glidden Road and Peace Road and all that, right? Annie Glidden, a little south of there. Man, check it out. This is good. This cask finish series. I've never had a cask finish series from Whiskey Acres I didn't thoroughly enjoy. Tokai Cask Rye is one of my favorites, but like I say, it's going to be very hard to find. This one is going to be a little hard to find. I did buy this one at a Binny's here in Chicagoland. If you're going to get one, I actually ended up calling or checking online. This is right near where my sister is. This is at the Downers Grove store. Still my buddy Mike there. He knows something about cigars. Cigar blend. So check around to make sure they have one. When I looked today, not too many stores have any left, but there's some around, still floating around if you want to get that Whiskey Acres cask finish series cigar blend. All right, folks, that was some punchy whiskey. A lot of fun. I'll see what's happening next. Michelle, when she gets a little bit better, and maybe we get past this gig on Wednesday. Maybe we'll do that Angels Envy bourbon and rye, and we'll see where else it's going to take us. There's a kind of interesting twist here in the Irish whiskey realm that I might bring up to you. An affordable one that might be nice, and yeah. All right, and I had a couple people kind of mention going back to the. I'll wrap it up in a second here. Oh, I might have been dropped for a little bit. It said something about my internet connection. The end of the year stuff. Okay, so yes, you all know if you haven't been here before, I always do a whiskey experience of the year, and I'll this short form. It does not have to be the best thing you ever drank. It's not the most expensive thing. And actually, we kind of suss that out. If you're going to try to brag, like, I got a $500 bottle of Macallan 12, but it's like, embossed. And I don't know why, Great. No, we figure that out. Your best experience. If you have anything like that, you checked out, first time for you. Again, that's not to be a new released whiskey. Obviously, doesn't make any sense. Something that's new to you, could even be an experience. Doesn't even mean you had to drink something. You know what? One more thing, and now I got a big sip of that Nectarosity. One of the best things about this is, and it's going to get into my final, or one of my whiskey experience of the year video. I'd say I'm like 95%, 99% sure I know where I'm going on this. Is when you start drinking high quality stuff, it's it just hits different. The mouthfeel on this blended Scotch blows away anything that I've had from Johnny Walker, especially, and Dewar's to a certain degree. You just get a different vibe, and it's really, really good. In case you're wondering what I'm talking about, finally, I was listening to an interview today with Charles McLean. Charles McLean, yeah, the man who is responsible for McLean's Nose, another blended Scotch that I love very much, from the Acres Distillery, and he was talking about, he said one of his favorite just kind of everyday Scotches, Johnny Walker Black Label, and this guy has smelled more whiskey and has drank more whiskey than anyone. One of the world's foremost nosers and blenders and consultants in all things Scotch whiskey. But he said, there are times when you're going to buy something for the enjoyment. You're just going to drink something for the enjoyment. Maybe Nectarosity to be something that, that's for the enjoyment. Or what's one thing that's for my enjoyment? Powers whiskey. Kilbeggan regular Irish whiskey. Irish whiskey for me is really an enjoyment thing. I just like, if I don't know what I'm going to drink, I'm going to have that. If I don't know what I'm going to drink, I just want something that I'm going to enjoy. No, I'm going to love it. I might break out the Old Grandad or any of these things, okay? That's it. We're not worried about, taste too much, although I want it to taste good, but you might ice it or something like that, or you add a couple drops of water. It's all great. Then, when we're actually looking for the experience, I actually want to get we're buying whiskey for a certain, we want to experience, we want to get the vibes of it. We want to sit and relax and maybe chat about it, but really get the overwhelming, you're buying it for that kind of, not just, enjoyment, but the experience. And that is something a little different. And that's what I'm seeing with some of these bottles here. They're crafted that way. And it's just a whole lot of fun for me. And I hope for you. Just keep that in mind. There's nothing wrong with grabbing a shot of something and drop it in your beer. You want to do that thing, that whole hocus pocus. That's great. Do it with Nectarosity. You're going to be very happy. I'm going to also say that it's not overly sweet. It's balanced. Those hazy IPA kind of fans would probably really dig this if they're looking for a whiskey. And there you go. Okay. Where was I going with that? Looking forward to it. Anyway, you know what? I'll wrap this up. If you have any kind of experiences you want to tell me about, go ahead and post it. All right. We'll see you later. Nectarosity.